Hello, Seiiti Arata. The title of this conversation is How to Be Happy. The search for happiness has been studied by positive psychology, and today I want to share with you some important discoveries. The answer to this search involves social psychology and neuroscience and scientific methodology, philosophy, and above all, self-knowledge. So let's start with self-knowledge. To be happy, you need to know yourself and understand what is the value of happiness to you. Yeah, because of that. So we can start. I will ask you, do you really want to increase your happiness level? Do you understand what is the value that happiness has for you? Are you willing to pay the price of doing what needs to be done to be happier? Or are you just saying that you want to be happier, but you're not really willing to take the time to reflect, or you don't want to be doing the uncomfortable steps that are necessary to be transformed? Do you really want to be a happier person, less worried, less pessimistic? Do people around you complain that you are too negative or sad or critical or just plain boring? Is being a happier person a priority for you today? Please think carefully about these questions, because this reflection is the first preparatory step for you to be happier. Are you ready? Were you able to find within yourself a good motivation, a sincere desire to be happier? Only after you are clear about this need, then continue here, because we're now going to go through a very popular piece of advice that if you want to be happy, you just have to smile. It seems obvious, but it's not that simple, and now you will understand everything in detail. You can change your emotions by changing your body. People smile because they are happy. Or are they happy because they smile? Or is it a little bit of both? In social psychology, there are the opinions that our face does not just express our emotions. The face also serves to regulate, to even initiate emotions. And this hypothesis has been discussed since Darwin's time. And in 1988, some researchers in the field of psychology carried out experiments to test the influence of our facial expressions in our emotions. They wanted to know if you could be happier if you first smiled. But this experiment needed to be done in a way that didn't reveal the true intention of measuring emotions, so in this way the volunteers wouldn't be influenced. So, in an ingenious way, the researchers asked each volunteer to hold a pencil. The volunteers were divided into three groups for this task. One group holding the pencil with their hand, another group holding the pencil with their teeth, like this. And another group holding the pencil with their lips, like this. So the people holding the pencil with their hand, they were part of the control group. The people holding the pencil with their lips were part of a group making a pout, looking a little bit like an upset person. And those holding the pencil with their teeth, they ended up making a smile without realizing that. So then the participants saw a few cartoons, and they had to grade these cartoons by evaluating how funny they were. And guess what? Those who made the upset face, they gave low marks. Those holding the pencil with their hands, they gave average marks, and those making a smile for holding the pencil with their teeth ended up giving the highest marks. That was indicating that they had a lot of fun. So this pencil theory is a classic scientific source of the facial feedback hypothesis. In the same way that your brain makes your face smile when you're happy, it can also be the opposite. You can force a smile and then feel happy. So that is why some people say that you can smile for no reason, and thus make the first step towards activating your happiness. Now, just be careful not to jump to conclusions based on scientific experiments. Now we're going to deepen the conversation by going into the part of the scientific methodology and neuroscience. Whenever you hear about a scientific experiment like this, caution is necessary before being simplistic and thinking that we're facing some magic formula to achieve results. The pencil theory was revised in 2014 in a much larger study that tried to reproduce the same results without success. And this caused astonishment. If it really was true that happiness would come to people who smiled holding a pencil in their teeth, any other group of scientists who would try to recreate the same experiment would achieve the same result. And there were several different groups of scientists filming the participants with a pencil, and they didn't reach the same result. And for some time, many people lost confidence in this facial feedback hypothesis. Could it be that facial expressions have no influence on our emotions? When you look at the research details and the methodology, you'll see that things are not that simple. According to Paul Ekman, it is not just any smile that will work. If I ask you to smile right now without a genuine reason, probably you're not going to make the complete smile. It is not enough just to use the zygomaticus major muscle here, because if you do this, you're going to have a fake smile. You also need to smile using your eyes, using the orbicularis oculi muscles. And furthermore, you cannot feel that you're being watched. In 2018, a new study was published, and this study was saying that indeed, in the previous attempts to replicate the pencil theory, the facial feedback didn't happen. And the alleged reason for that is that they were using cameras to be filming the participants, and that inhibited the effect. Then it would be enough to make the participants more comfortable without cameras and with more privacy, so they didn't feel being a little bit like fools, making faces, and then the effect would happen. And it did happen. So we have to understand all these details to finally get to the detailed life hack of using the facial feedback. To be happy, it is not enough to just smile. You have to smile by lifting the corner of your lips using both the zygomaticus major and also smiling with your eyes, with the orbicularis oculi muscles of the eye. And you have to do this in an environment alone with privacy, because if you know that you're being watched or evaluated or judged by others or even by cameras, it will not work. And then that smile, started consciously by you, can start a real smile and greater happiness. Be careful not to lose the necessary awareness about important aspects of your life. The problem with all of this is when we follow this type of a life hack, putting a pencil between our teeth or just smiling in front of a mirror and using the approach of fake it until you make it, pretending until an emotion really becomes reality, we're failing to confront a perhaps even bigger problem or the source of the problems. That is why we need to go beyond the life hacks and think a little bit about philosophy of life. Why am I having difficulties when trying to feel happiness? Why am I worried? Why do people close to me tell me that I'm boring, unpleasant? Or what can I improve other than just pretending to be happy? All of this is personal development, which I realize aspects of my existence that I would like to modify and grow. The biggest problem is not being aware of the state we are in. It is not necessary to always and immediately remedy the lack of happiness. Sometimes I want to understand how I'm doing. At certain times, sadness is necessary, solitude is necessary, mourning is necessary when a loved person is gone. If you ignore all these needs and start immediately looking for happiness, you might be ignoring something very important. A limitation of using science in a mere instrumental way and simplistic way is to believe that I can use the facial feedback hypothesis to be happy at any time, even in times when there is a need for introspective moments or even moments of sadness, when I need to recompose myself. It makes no sense for me to get a pencil between my teeth and force myself to smile. That's not how it works. So when you seek happiness by forcing it, it will run away from you. There's a proverb that says instead of chasing butterflies, you should look after your garden so the butterflies come to you. And using facial feedback to be happy can be a lot like chasing butterflies. Perhaps for you, it's more important to take care of your garden first, which is to work on your personal development, your self-knowledge, your self-esteem, your purpose, your spirituality, your professional skills, your communication skills, to save money, to invest your finances, to take care of your health, your body. And taking care of all of this when you least expect, you will be living a much happier life. Thus, happiness will be more of a consequence and less of an objective in itself. We need to have the larger context, understanding that we are agents with the capacity for determination, and at the same time we are also connected in a context, in a society, and also in a temporal dimension. To resist all of this and expect a life hack to change the way I feel is extremely superficial, right? It is similar to thinking that drinking will solve my problems. It might solve them superficially and temporarily, but will cause even greater damage when the hangover kicks. If you like to take care of your garden and become a better and happier person, I invite you to visit arata.se/happiness.